So what everyone is saying right now in California is 911 is absolutely a joke. Guys, it's not just in Oakland, but I've seen videos where people are in LA, they dial 911, they're like, let me put you on hold real quick. Like, they're treating 911 over there like you're calling Spectrum. Like, you're on hold for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, sometimes 20 minutes before anyone gets to you. Now, I get it. California's law enforcement is heavily overstretched. I'm sure that they want to do a lot of good, but, like, come on. Okay? You got to put a little bit more money in, like, the police area and also the 911 area, for example, because there seems to be so much crime, so much lawlessness, and a lot of people are saying in Oakland, don't even bother calling 911 at this point. In fact, some people, they see, like, their cars get broken in, or they see, like, a daylight robbery. Like, they don't even call 911 at that point, okay? Like, some residents are even saying there's really no point. And this is going to be a massive pit for crime. This is why people are sick of Oakland. Oakland's real estate is the fastest declining in probably the whole entire North America area. In fact, if you all look at the first world cities, the Bay Area is declining like the top 3 fastest in the whole world among first world countries. And that's huge because this is America's tech capital. And people are really frustrated, okay? And some people say they straight up just don't even dial 911 anymore because nothing really gets fixed. I mean, we've seen several crazy stories in San Francisco and Los Angeles with the police. I've even heard stories where, like, a car gets hit, and it was a hit and run. Guy calls the police, and police like, anyone get hurt? And he's like, nope. And the police is like, well, we can't really do anything. And that was it. Everyone hung up. That's crazy, okay? Only in California, guys. Absolutely nutty here. But now, in fact, San Francisco is pretty much destroying itself. You have small companies, big companies, retail stores, even grocery stores are moving out. Guys, when grocery stores are moving out, your cities is completely screwed. And if you're not changing, even more big guys are going to be leaving as well. Office vacancies at one point were at 30 to 35% in this year's quarter 2, 2023. But now people are saying that zombie vacancies are everywhere. We're seeing a lot of vacancies in offices that are already leased because companies have already moved out, but they're still leasing it because their lease has an end. And even Reddit is also like relocating. And one of the biggest companies in San Francisco is going to be good old Uber. And Uber is now thinking about this, right? Now, there's another chunk of space that will be left vacant at the 1 million square foot building owned by Hudson Pacific Properties. Uber, WeWork are among its tenants. But Uber's lease is set to expire 2025. And Hudson Pacific also filed a lawsuit against WeWork last month for failing to pay rent. So this is going to get pretty big. Uber is one of the biggest guys in the real estate industry. I mean, they lease mass amounts of space, but now we're actually seeing Uber moving a lot of its workers remote. The workers are pretty much leaving San Francisco. If you guys don't know what's going on with Uber, they are kind of transitioning out of San Francisco. If you look at this, Uber looks to sublease a fully furnished San Francisco office that had never even occupied. This is almost a 300,000 square feet office. This is a massive office that has spent millions and millions of dollars renovating it and making it look good. And then the pandemic hits. Everyone moved online, and then Uber's like, hold up a second. We have higher productivity. Workers are happier. And we're making even more money online. Why should I be spending hundreds of millions of dollars on real estate stuff when I could just simply make everyone work online? And that's exactly what's happening, right? If Uber really likes San Francisco, okay, if tech companies didn't want to leave, Uber would not be subleasing this out for cheap. In fact, this is pretty scary stuff. This is not normal. And Uber is thinking about leaving, and they're relocating a lot of their workers out of San Francisco as well. And this is not just Uber, guys. We're seeing several other companies as well. And like I said before, it's all due to the really, really bad street conditions. I mean, if you look at some of these Chinese bloggers, they're saying the same thing. You go to Walgreens, CVS, a lot of the candy's locked up. I mean, that's bad. You're seeing a lot of stores empty. Look at the streets. This is actually a very popular street pre-pandemic. This was crowded shoulder to shoulder. And now it's just completely empty. I mean, look at the emptiness of this. Okay, it's pretty bad. Now, overall, I think San Francisco, they can recover if they really clean the homelessness. I think there's still a lot of companies that are still staying. Okay, I mean, vacancies are only 30%, but It's more like 50% if you look at how many people have left, but they still have leases around. So they still have some companies around. And there's even a few AI companies moving into San Francisco, which I call them crazy. But if they don't change their ways right now, the city is dead. And when you have big guys like Uber, Lyft thinking about leaving, Twitter is thinking about leaving, Reddit is going to be trying to get out as well. I mean, San Francisco is supposed to be the tech hub. This is supposed to be like where all of America's finest and biggest tech companies start off on. And now everyone's leaving. I mean, robberies are everywhere. I mean, Gucci store robberies. They say police is investigating, but nothing's going to really be done. And I guarantee a lot of these designer stores, as long as they keep getting robbed like this, they're not going to operate in the city anymore. And plus, most of the rich residents have already left for other cities anyway. And look at this. Rapid delivery startup Food Rocket leaves San Francisco for Charlotte. Guys, this is just one of the hundreds and thousands of companies that are leaving. I mean, a lot of these tech guys, okay, they don't have to live in San Francisco. They could go somewhere else. In fact, they're seeing their fellow brethren. There are other tech companies, even rivals, leaving for other cities. And they all say the same thing, right? You know, it's just bad street conditions, homelessness everywhere, and crime is so rampant in the city that it's impossible to operate anything. Like I said before, there's still a lot of startups, but the majority of the startups are leaving. And there's no incoming startup scene. You even have big tech events like the one by IBM and also Meta's tech conference. They say they will be moving it for 2024. They no longer want to have these massive tech conferences in San Francisco. And a lot of people are saying the reason why a lot of these companies are moving out is because it's very dangerous to walk on the streets of San Francisco. You got wealthy VCs and investors that go to San Francisco for these tech conferences. And when you have street conditions as bad as San Francisco, that's obviously a no-brainer. Move to a different city, a city that's safer and cleaner to host your tech event. Because if your tech event is in a dump, it really looks bad on a tech event. And guys, Chinese tourists, they love vacations. They're very wealthy. But there's one city they don't go to, which is San Francisco. And every single Chinese tourist I've seen on those Webull blogs say the same thing. The city is full of homeless people. There's drugs everywhere. There's literally human feces on the floor of San Francisco. And of course, they don't want to go to San Francisco. And it's still a pretty expensive city to go to. Like seriously, guys, this city is basically dead. And they really ran it to the ground. I feel like if they just ran the city like a normal person, a lot of these companies will put up with a lot of crap. But you have to really try to kill off America's tech capital like this. Nothing's being changed, okay? Nothing's really being done. It's the same old every single day. And more businesses are leaving. And this is why Whole Foods, Nordstrom, Uniqlo are leaving. These big retail stores don't want to leave. And when they leave, they pretty much say one thing. The city is dead and they're gone. And I hope San Francisco changes because this really is a fantastic city and a fantastic location.